it took me probably a decade to realize ELF doesn't just apply to marketing techniques or business techniques. It applies to people. It applies to projects. And so today, to go back to your original question that I went on this whole rant about, I put everyone through the ELF filter. Is this person easy, lucrative, and fun, or are they hard, annoying, lame, and frustrating? You can tell if if you're not inebriated on sugar or caffeine or drugs and alcohol, your gut tells you if this person is safe or not. But oftentimes we are so masked with activity that we don't pay attention to stuff. And, there's a lot of red flags that are dangerous, but you got to notice the yellow flags too. So, there's a lot of people, there's a reason my book is yellow. What's in it for them? I mean, part of it people don't know is like, look out for the yellow flags because that's the indicator of, you be cautious, just not, it could be a good thing, but it could be a real bad thing. And one of the things I always love the Zig Ziglar quote, you can get anything you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want. With the caveat, though, is that you can help a lot of people get what they want that won't do a damn thing for you. And some of them will abuse you and take advantage of you. So these quotes that sound really good, you have to take it in the right context, and if you're a giver, oftentimes the people that we want to try to get their attention, and again, I'm saying this from my own life experience, for me, doesn't mean everyone thinks like this. I found myself early on, if someone didn't, pay attention to me or didn't like me, it bothered me. And oftentimes we are trying to get the approval of people or the attention of people that are not easy, lucrative, and fun, that aren't really caring. And what I want to really help people do is to really, it's not about winning, friends and influencing people. I love the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. In the beginning of my book, I actually acknowledge Dale Carnegie's book, recommend everybody read that book. That book was instrumental in my life. That book is amazing. And I wanted to add to it. I didn't want to replace it. It's a great book. Anyone that reads that book is going to get a lot more out of my book. And the thing is, it's about winning the right friends and influencing the right people. So we do want to win friends and influence people, but we want to do it with people that we're aligned with, and we want to do it with the right people. Because if you win the wrong friends, they aren't really friends, and people want to be influencers. They want to be an influencer. I think that is so funny. People call themselves influencers. Well, what are you influencing? What are you spewing bullshit out into the world? So it depends what you're influencing. I mean, the godfather of influence is Dr. Robert Cialdini, who wrote the book Influence 30 years ago. I had lunch and dinner with him 4 days ago. And, he's sold 5 million books, endorsed by Warren Buffett and all kinds of different people. But he's never been like a modern day version of an influencer. He just studied influence techniques. And so who do you want to influence? You want to influence people that are easy, lucrative, and fun. And I would suggest people do an audit of their relationships. Who do you like the most? Why do you like them? What value do they bring to their life? And to go back to your question, if someone's like, well, how do you meet these high level people? How do you develop relationship? Part of it is you really start becoming a pain detective. You can develop relationships with people in fun, enjoyable ways where you're into the same sort of stuff, be it sports or yoga or business or music or whatever. However, if you want really deep rapport with someone, find a problem or a pain or an angst that they have and offer them a solution to it. And don't just say to people, how can I help you? Find out what they need help with and just be helpful. Because if you have to ask them, hey, how can I help you? It sounds like you are caring about them. And oftentimes you probably do care about them, but that doesn't actually help someone that's already overwhelmed and has a million people asking them, how can I help you? When someone just lost a loved one, it could be an animal, could be a child, could be their partner, it could be any family member, friend. A lot of people are trying to reach out and saying, how can I help you? You say, hey, I know you're going through a lot. Can I bring you lunch tomorrow? That's a much different thing than, can I help you with anything? Because when someone's traumatized or in pain, that's difficult. So first chapter of what's in it for them is be a pain detective. Pain is a messenger. Wherever you have pain or angst in your life, that is life's way of saying, pay attention. It could be a physical pain in your body. Could be a depression, a sadness, a loneliness. And it's okay to sit with pain. As a matter of fact, pain is going to be the greatest teacher. If you think of all the breakthroughs that you've had, let's focus this on you, Jason. A lot of your businesses and a lot of things that you do in your life, if you were to think about what was the domino, what was the impetus that started it, it came out of usually, not always, but usually some form of adversity. So most businesses, see what a business is for the entrepreneurs out there, and anyone that has a job is actually in business because, unless you're a government bureaucrat, you're probably not going to be listening to this podcast. You're out there having to, create value for money in some form of business enterprise. And so what is a business is solving problems for a profit. There would be no business if there weren't any problems in the world. So most people try to avoid problems and avoid pain. And I'm like, shit, man, I wake up and say, wherever there's anxiety, there's opportunity. Wherever there's pain in the world, someone needs that pain to go away. And if I could show up, and sometimes it's just putting a smile on someone's face if you're going to lunch and there's a server and they're seeming to have a bad day and you just really genuinely say, thank you. Thank you for being awesome. And who becomes my close friends in my life? Or I look at people that are more powerful. How do they treat people that are less powerful than them? When you get to a position of status, and I know a lot of people, I mean, if people doubt any of that, do a Google search. You can see me with so many people and people are always like, how do you meet this person? How do you meet that person? It's like, just because a famous person doesn't mean jack shit. And famous people when you're in addiction recovery and you meet some of the most well-known people in the world in recovery, you realize that some of the people that the world admires are oftentimes so broken, so in pain. And just because everyone admires them doesn't mean they're not depressed. Many commit suicide. Many live quiet lives of desperation. And oftentimes fame and status comes with a price of, selling your soul. And so it's a bit of a mixed bag. And so I just go back to how is someone suffering and how can I help? And in the suffering, I find the connection, not only with them, but with myself. Because when I'm suffering and when I'm in pain, which is a lot, I need someone to talk to. I need a sounding board. I need a compassionate, empathetic person. When I'm confused, when I'm lost, when I'm not sure what the hell to do, it's really great to have a human you can call and talk to them. And the more looking for love in all the wrong places is addiction. Looking for love in all the right places is connection.